Let's talk about how we would create a start scene. We always want to have a camera in the scene, so we can just choose to create one here. And we want to set it up as a simple rig. So I'm just going to back out of the default camera view, and you can see the camera object there. And it's set up, it was created at the exact point that our default camera was. So we can just choose to zero out the coordinates, and you'll see it move around in the viewport. And all I want to do is just maybe back it up a bit on the Z-axis. So I can just type in something like minus 1920, for example. Now, to control this camera's rotation, let's say it was focusing on an object around here, and we'd want it to orbit around that point. Well, if we just choose to rotate the camera, it's not going to be fixed at that point. It's going to be sort of looking around. So a way of controlling that is by using a simple rig. So if we just create a null at 0, 0, for example, this is where we want our camera to be looking, and just make the camera a child of the null, which we can just call cam rig. Now, when we rotate the null, the camera stays looking at that point. So we can use this as a simple setup for our camera animations. And did you know that you can create a file that Cinema 4D will use as a starting point for every new scene? It's very simple. You can just choose all the objects and the framing, pretty much every setup, so that it's all completely customized, and you can maybe increase your project frame rate to maybe 300 or something a bit larger. You could be doing a particle sim, and you'd need that time in the timeline. Anyway, anything you change will be recorded and reused with each new scene. And the naming of the file is called new.c4d, and you just save it next to the Cinema 4D application. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to create a simple camera rig, which we've got here, and then we can choose to use it, because otherwise every single time we create a brand new scene, so Command N, we would have that camera rig appear. So we want to be able to just merge it in or do something like that. So I'm just going to close that file, and we'll just save this one, Command S, in our chapter 2 folder, and just call it camera start. So now we have access to that. When we come to animate cameras, we'll be reusing this little simple rig.